Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive
Oh, yeah.
into a classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a blueprint for building wealth.
Oh.
The Richest Man in Babylon
Yeah.
by George Clason.
I know this one.
So
Yeah.
this book is full of parables set in ancient Babylon.
Right.
And believe it or not, the financial wisdom in these stories is just as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago.
I find that fascinating about this book. It shows us that human nature, especially when it comes to money, hasn't changed that much.
Yeah.
The Babylonians faced many of the same challenges that we do today.
That's right.
Saving, spending, investing.
Yeah.
It's all there.
It's like we're getting a sneak peek into the financial lives of people from 6,000 years ago.
Exactly.
So where do we begin with a book like this?
Well, the heart of the book lies in the story of Arkad,
Okay.
a poor scribe who becomes, you guessed it,
The richest man in Babylon.
the richest man in Babylon.
That's right.
He's basically the poster child for financial success in the book.
Okay, so Arkad's journey starts when he makes a deal with a wealthy moneylender named Algamish, right?
Right.
He works for Algamish in exchange for the secrets to wealth.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal if you ask me.
Yeah, it's like finding the ultimate financial mentor.
Yeah.
And the secret that Algamish reveals is surprisingly simple.
Okay.
A part of all you earn is yours to keep.
Oh, okay.
It seems obvious, but, think about how many times you spent your entire paycheck.
Oh, all the time.
Right.
It's so easy to get caught up in our day-to-day expenses and forget about saving.
Right.
But the richest man in Babylon reminds us that paying ourselves first is the foundation of building wealth.
It's about shifting our mindset, from spending everything we earn to intentionally setting aside a portion for our future selves. But Clason doesn't just throw this principle at us.
Right.
He shows Arkad actually putting it into practice. And more importantly, learning from his mistakes.
That's what makes it so relatable.
Exactly.
Arkad isn't perfect.
Right.
He initially makes some terrible investments, like buying jewels from a brickmaker.
Who would do that?
I mean, we've all been there, right? Like,
Yeah.
tempted by some shiny opportunity without really understanding the risks.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think those early mistakes are crucial to Arkad's journey
Yeah.
because they teach him the importance of seeking advice from experts in specific fields
That's right.
and investing in what you understand.
That's a really good point.
That's something we can all learn from, even if we're not dealing with ancient Babylonian currency.
Right.
Yeah.
So through trial and error, Arkad eventually becomes incredibly wealthy, right?
He does.
He even ends up as an advisor to the king,
That's right.
sharing his wisdom with others.
He does?
He teaches a class of 100 men,
Wow.
sharing his famous 7 cures for a lean purse.
That's right.
And these cures are like a step-by-step guide to financial well-being.
Yeah.
And the first one, of course, is
Let me guess.
start thy purse to fattening.
Start thy purse to fattening.
That's right.
There it is. Back to paying ourselves first.
Yeah.
Clason uses the analogy of an egg basket.
Okay.
If you add 10 eggs every day and take out only 9, the basket will eventually overflow.
That's right.
It's a simple visual,
Yeah.
but it's so powerful.
It is.
It illustrates the power of consistent savings.
Yeah, and think about how that translates to today's world. There are so many tools and apps available that can automate our savings.
That's right.
Making it even easier to adopt this principle.
Absolutely.
It's not about deprivation.
Yeah.
It's about being intentional with our money.
Okay, so cure number 1, all about building that savings muscle.
Yes.
What's the next step in curing a lean purse?
So the second cure is all about gaining control.
Okay.
Control thy expenditures.
Okay.
Clason advocates for creating a budget. The dreaded budget.
I know.
I know.
The word budget can sometimes evoke feelings of restriction.
Yeah. It makes you feel like you can't do anything.
But that's not what he's getting at.
So it's not about denying ourselves all the fun stuff.
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's about making conscious choices about where our money goes.
I see.
A budget helps us differentiate between our needs, our wants, and those impulse buys that we might regret later.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with those.
Right.
Yes.
Think of it as a roadmap
Okay.
to achieving our financial goals.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's about aligning our spending with our values and priorities.
Exactly.
Speaking of priorities,
Yes.
the third cure
Okay.
is make thy gold multiply.
Now we're talking.
Now this sounds promising.
This is where it gets exciting.
Okay.
The third cure encourages us to put our savings to work by investing wisely.
Okay.
Clayson even gives an example of one of Arcad's investments that grew 17-fold in 50 years.
Wow.
Thanks to the power of compound interest.
Now, that's the kind of multiplication I can get behind.
Right.
But investing can be intimidating.
It can be.
Especially for beginners.
Yeah.
Does Clayson address that?
Absolutely. That's where the fourth cure, guard thy treasures from loss, comes in.
Okay.
He emphasizes protecting our investments by understanding the risks involved.
Yeah.
And seeking advice from those who are more experienced.
So it's kind of like a reminder to do your research.
Yes.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Maybe avoid taking financial advice from that friend who always seems to be chasing the next get-rich-quick scheme.
Exactly.
Right.
It's about being prudent, protecting your hard-earned savings. And this ties in nicely with Arcad's early investment blunders.
Oh, yeah. Those were some expensive lessons.
You're right.
But they taught him the importance of due diligence.
Yeah.
Sticking to areas where he had knowledge and expertise.
Exactly.
All right. So the fifth cure.
Okay.
Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment.
This one might seem a bit specific to ancient Babylon.
Oh, so they were into real estate back then?
In a way, yes. Owning a home was seen as a source of pride and potential rental income.
Okay.
While the specifics might be different today, the underlying principle still applies.
So you mean like the idea of investing in assets that can appreciate in value and provide long-term benefits.
Exactly.
Okay, so cure number 5 is all about building a solid foundation.
Yes.
Literally and figuratively.
That's right.
What about the future?
Yes.
Does Clayson have any advice on planning for the long term?
He does, and this is where he shows remarkable foresight.
Okay.
The sixth cure, ensure a future income, encourages us to plan for the time when we might not be able to work.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
So he suggests building a reliable income stream, even after we stop working.
Got it.
Through investments or property. He even touches on the concept of insurance.
This was a pretty radical idea for the time.
It was.
It's amazing how these principles from thousands of years ago are still so relevant today.
I know.
So cure number 6 is all about ensuring our financial security, even in our golden years.
Exactly.
What's the final piece of the puzzle?
So the seventh and final cure is all about personal growth.
Okay.
Increase thy ability to earn.
Ah, okay.
It's a reminder that learning and self-development are lifelong pursuits.
Right.
The more we invest in our skills and knowledge,
the
greater our earning potential becomes.
So it's not just about managing our money, but also about investing in ourselves.
Exactly.
It's about recognizing that our ability to earn is our most valuable asset.
I like that.
Right.
That wraps up Arcad's 7 cures for a lean purse.
It covers everything.
Pretty comprehensive, right?
Yeah, it does. It covers everything.
Yeah.
From building a strong savings habit. Yes.
Planning for the future.
Yeah.
Investing in ourselves.
That's right.
But I know the richest man in Babylon has a lot more to offer.
Absolutely.
What else does Clayson delve into?
So besides Arcad's story, Clayson introduces another set of powerful guidelines.
Okay.
The 5 laws of gold.
Oh.
These laws are illustrated through the story of Nomasir, Arcad's son, who's given a bag of gold and a clay tablet inscribed with these laws.
Sounds like a test.
It is.
So what happens? Does Nomasir pass with flying colors?
Not initially.
Ooh.
He actually stumbles and loses the gold.
Oh, no.
Through bad investments and poor judgment.
Okay.
He basically fails all 5 laws at first.
Oh, no. But I have a feeling this isn't the end of his story.
You're right.
Okay, so
yeah,
maybe we should take a quick break and come back.
Yeah.
Refreshed and ready to unpack the rest of Clayson's wisdom.
I like it.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, so we left off with Nomasir.
Right.
Who, if you remember, is given a bag of gold.
And a clay tablet with the 5 laws of gold inscribed on it.
By his father.
By his father, Arcad.
Right.
He's supposed to prove he's worthy of inheriting his father's wealth. But things didn't exactly go as planned.
Not at first.
Yeah.
You know, Nomasir, like many of us, was initially drawn to those get-rich-quick schemes.
Yeah.
Promised easy money.
Right.
Unfortunately, that led him to lose all the gold his father entrusted to him.
A classic case of too good to be true.
Right.
But I'm guessing Nomasir eventually learns from his mistakes.
He does.
Okay.
He remembers the clay tablet, studies the 5 laws,
Okay.
and starts applying them diligently.
Okay, so let's break down those 5 laws of gold.
Okay.
Where do we start?
Well, the first law echoes a familiar principle.
Okay.
Gold cometh gladly to any man who will put by not less than 1/10 of his earnings.
Okay.
Reinforces the importance of paying yourself first,
Right.
just like Arkad learned from Algamish.
So law number 1, all about building that solid financial foundation through consistent saving.
That's right.
It's interesting how this concept keeps coming up.
It is. It's like the cornerstone of everything else.
Yeah.
And the second law builds upon that foundation.
Okay.
Gold laboreth diligently and contentedly for the wise owner who finds for it profitable employment.
So once you've got that savings habit down,
yes,
the next step is putting that money to work.
Exactly.
Through wise investments.
That's right. Finding profitable employment for your gold, as Clayson puts it, is key to growing your wealth over time.
And I'm guessing this is where the importance of seeking advice from experienced individuals comes into play again.
You're absolutely right. The third law states,
okay,
gold clingeth to the protection of the cautious owner who invests it under the advice of men wise in its handling.
Okay.
Emphasizes the importance of risk management and seeking wise counsel when it comes to investing.
So it's not just about chasing the highest returns, but also about protecting your principal and making sure your investments are aligned with your risk tolerance.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the fourth law reminds us to stick to what we know.
Okay.
Gold slippeth away from the man who invests it in businesses or purposes with which he is not familiar or which are not approved by those skilled in its keep.
That makes sense. It's easy to get caught up.
It is.
In the hype of an investment opportunity.
Yeah.
But if you don't understand the underlying business or industry, it's a recipe for disaster.
Exactly. Due diligence and research are essential.
Yeah.
And finally, the fifth law is all about avoiding those too good to be true scenarios.
Right.
Gold flees the man who would force it to impossible earnings, or who followeth the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers, or who trusts it to his own inexperience and romantic desires in investment.
I think we've all encountered those tricksters and schemers at some point, whether it's that friend who's always pitching the next multi-level marketing scheme or that Instagram influencer promoting a dubious investment opportunity.
It's everywhere.
Right.
This law reminds us to be wary of those who promise unrealistic returns or prey on our emotions in inexperience. It's about being discerning and making informed decisions based on sound principles, not hype.
So the 5 laws of gold provide a framework for responsible wealth building.
That's right.
Emphasizing discipline, prudence, and seeking wisdom from those who have already achieved success.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how these principles are woven into Nomasir's journey.
It is. His initial failure serves as a cautionary tale.
Right.
And his eventual success, after applying the 5 laws, reinforces their power.
Right.
He learns that wealth isn't about luck or shortcuts.
Yeah.
It's about following proven principles and developing sound financial habits.
And he ends up returning to his father with double the original amount of gold.
He does.
That's a pretty impressive turnaround.
It is.
Okay, so we've covered Arkad's story, the 7 cures, and the 5 laws of gold.
Right.
It feels like we've already uncovered a treasure trove of wisdom.
Well, there's more.
But I know The Richest Man in Babylon has even more to offer.
Absolutely.
What else is hidden within its pages?
Well, besides Arkad's story, Clayson weaves these principles into a series of other captivating tales.
Okay.
Each offering unique insights and lessons.
Okay.
For instance, there's the story of the gold lender of Babylon.
Okay.
Which introduces us to Rodan, a spear maker.
Okay.
Who receives a reward of 50 pieces of gold from the king.
50 pieces of gold? That's quite a windfall.
It is.
What does he do with it?
Well, Rodan, feeling overwhelmed by this sudden wealth, seeks advice from Matha, a wise gold lender, known for his shrewd judgment and his token chest.
A token chest?
That's right.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, this token chest is full of stories from his past lending experiences.
Oh, a token chest full of stories.
Yes.
Okay, how does this chest play into the story?
So each item in Mathon's chest represents a past loan.
Okay.
Serving as a tangible reminder of the borrower, their purpose for the loan, and whether or not it was repaid.
So it's like a physical manifestation of his lending history?
It is.
Okay.
Filled with both successes and cautionary tales.
Interesting. Okay, what kind of stories does he share?
Well, one memorable story involves a farmer who could understand the language of animals.
Wait, talking animals?
That's right.
Okay.
He overhears a conversation between an ox and an ass.
Okay.
The ox complains about his hard labor pulling the plow.
Okay.
While the ass boasts about his leisurely life carrying their master.
Okay.
The farmer realizes that borrowing to live a life of ease, like the ass, often leads to being burdened by debt.
Okay.
And ultimately serving someone else.
That's a brilliant analogy.
It is.
It highlights the importance of building a foundation of hard work and self-reliance, rather than relying on debt to fund a lifestyle you can't truly afford. Oh.
And it emphasizes the importance of understanding the true cost of borrowing.
Right, yeah.
Another story Metothon shares involves a man who borrows gold to please his extravagant wife, ultimately leading to financial ruin and even tragedy.
That's a stark reminder that emotional decisions,
they are,
especially when it comes to finances, can have dire consequences.
Absolutely.
Right.
Through these stories, Metothon teaches Rodin to distinguish between loans that create value and those that lead to ruin.
Okay.
He emphasizes the importance of assessing the character and purpose of the borrower before lending any gold.
So it's not just about the gold itself. It's about understanding the underlying motivations and risks involved.
That's right.
In both lending and borrowing.
Precisely.
Okay.
Methon advises Rodin to prioritize loans backed by assets or guarantees, to avoid lending to those driven by greed or impractical schemes.
Okay.
He sums it up by saying, better a little caution than a great regret. It's a timeless principle that applies to all financial decisions.
So after hearing all these stories, what does Rodin decide to do with his 50 pieces of gold?
Well, he initially was tempted by the allure of quick riches.
Yeah.
He ultimately realizes the wisdom in Maison's cautious approach.
Okay.
He chooses to safeguard his gold.
Okay.
And seek out opportunities to lend it wisely, ensuring its safe return and a steady stream of passive income.
So he embraces the role of a responsible lender.
He does.
Using his wealth to support worthy ventures while protecting his principal. Right. It's a fantastic example of learning and applying those principles in a real-world scenario.
Exactly. And it highlights the power of seeking wise counsel and considering the long-term consequences of our financial decisions.
Speaking of long-term thinking and security, another captivating tale in The Richest Man in Babylon is the story of the walls of Babylon.
Of course.
Which uses the city's legendary walls as a metaphor for financial protection.
Absolutely. Clayson reminds us that we need to build our own impregnable walls around our wealth, safeguard ourselves against life's unexpected challenges and financial setbacks.
So it's about creating that buffer of security through savings, investments, insurance, much like the walls of Babylon protected its citizens.
Exactly.
Right.
Just as a city without strong defenses is vulnerable.
Yeah.
So are we without adequate financial protection?
Right.
It's about anticipating potential risks, taking proactive steps to mitigate them.
Yeah, it's interesting how Clayson uses historical events and metaphors to illustrate these financial principles. It makes them so much more relatable and memorable.
I agree.
Okay.
Now let's shift gears a little bit and explore the camel trader of Babylon.
Okay.
A story that follows Debisir, a man who falls from prosperity into debt and even slavery.
A stark reminder that financial misfortune can happen to anyone.
It can.
Regardless of their initial wealth or status.
Absolutely.
Right.
Debisir's story is a classic tale of overspending, poor financial choices, and the consequences of living beyond one's means.
Right.
He indulges in extravagant purchases, accumulates debt, and eventually finds himself fleeing Babylon in disgrace.
It's a cautionary tale that highlights the importance of living within our means.
It is.
And avoiding the trap of consumerism.
That's right.
But I'm guessing Debisir eventually finds a way to turn things around.
He does.
Oh.
He ends up as a slave in Syria.
Okay.
Which becomes a harsh but necessary reality check forces him to confront his mistakes.
Yeah.
And seek a path to redemption.
So it's not just a story about financial hardship, but also a tale of personal transformation.
Yes.
And the power of resilience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Debussy,
inspired
by a wise woman who encourages him to reclaim his self-worth, escapes from slavery, returns to Babylon, determined to repay his debts and rebuild his life.
It's a powerful testament to the fact that no matter how dire our circumstances may seem, there's always hope for recovery and redemption.
Absolutely. Debussy's journey highlights the importance of taking responsibility for our actions and the possibility of turning our financial misfortunes into powerful learning experiences.
Right. So his story leads us to another fascinating part of The Richest Man in Babylon. The clay tablets from Babylon.
Yes.
These tablets, discovered by archaeologists, contain Debussy's detailed records of his journey from debt to prosperity.
That's right. It's like an ancient financial diary.
Oh, wow.
Documenting his struggles, strategies, and ultimate triumph over debt.
What specific insights do these tablets offer?
Well, Debussy outlines a simple yet effective plan for debt repayment. He commits to setting aside a portion of his earnings to repay his debts while living frugally on the rest. He meticulously tracks his income expenses, debt reduction progress.
So it's about disciplined budgeting.
Yes.
Consistent debt repayment, and a willingness to make short-term sacrifices for long-term financial well-being.
Exactly.
Right.
His story is a reminder that achieving financial freedom often requires patience, persistence, commitment to following through on our plans.
It's also a great example of the power of accountability and tracking our progress.
Absolutely.
Sometimes just seeing those numbers move in the right direction can be incredibly motivating.
You can.
And Debussy's journey, so carefully documented in his clay tablets, provides a practical roadmap for anyone seeking to break free from the burden of debt. It shows that even small, consistent steps can lead to significant progress over time.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've covered quite a few tales.
We have.
From The Richest Man in Babylon. And I have to say, each one seems to offer a unique perspective on these timeless financial principles.
That's right.
But there's one more story I'm particularly curious about.
The
Luckiest Man in Babylon.
Oh, yeah.
What makes this one stand out?
Well, The Luckiest Man in Babylon introduces us to Shahrunada, a successful merchant prince who's concerned about his grandson, Hadan Gula, who's grown up in luxury and disdains the value of hard work.
The classic tale of entitlement.
Right.
I'm guessing Shahrunada wants to teach his grandson a lesson.
He does.
About the importance of hard work.
Yes.
Earning one's success.
You're right.
So what does he do?
He takes Hadan on a journey. Back to Babylon. The city where he first found success. To share his story and impart valuable life lessons.
What a fantastic way to bridge that generational gap.
Yes.
And demonstrate the principles that led to his own prosperity that happens on their journey.
So along the way, they encounter 3 old men plowing a field. Shahrunada recognizes them as the same men he saw 40 years ago.
Wow.
Still toiling in the same field.
Oh, wow.
This prompts him to share his own story with Hadan. Starting with his capture as a slave during a war.
So it's a story about finding meaning and purpose in work. Even in the most challenging of circumstances.
Exactly. He describes his initial despair, longing for freedom, and the realization that work, even as a slave, could be his path to redemption. He learned valuable skills, earned his freedom, and eventually built a thriving business.
A classic rags to riches story.
It is.
But with an emphasis on the transformative power of hard work. Determination and a positive attitude.
Precisely. Shahrunada emphasizes that it wasn't luck that brought him success. But his embrace of work as an opportunity for growth and fulfillment. He wanted Hadan to understand that true wealth comes not from inheritance or chance, but from the dignity and rewards of hard work.
It's a message that resonates across generations.
It does.
Reminding us that true fulfillment comes from finding meaning in our endeavors. Contributing to the world through our efforts.
Absolutely.
The
Luckiest Man in Babylon is a powerful reminder that our attitude towards work can shape our destiny.
Okay, we've journeyed through a multitude of tales.
We have.
From the richest man in Babylon.
Yes.
Each one offering unique insights and lessons about building wealth,
right,
managing money, cultivating a prosperous mindset.
That's right.
But before we wrap up, I'd love to explore the city of Babylon itself.
Okay.
What made it the richest city in the world in its time?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
The book isn't just about personal finance.
Right.
It's also interwoven with the fascinating history of ancient Babylon.
Yeah.
The city's prosperity wasn't an accident. It was a result of its people's ingenuity, their understanding of financial principles, and their dedication to building a thriving society.
So the city itself was a testament to the principles we've been discussing.
Exactly.
Right.
Despite having limited natural resources, Babylon thrived for centuries.
Okay.
Due to its people's resourcefulness and innovative spirit.
Right.
One of the most remarkable examples is their sophisticated irrigation system.
I've heard about those incredible canals and dams.
Yes.
They were way ahead of their time.
They were, through a network of canals and dams.
Yeah.
They harnessed the power of the Euphrates River, transforming an arid land into a fertile agricultural powerhouse.
So they literally created wealth from the ground up by leveraging their ingenuity, understanding of nature's resources.
Precisely.
And their engineering marvels didn't stop there.
No.
The legendary walls of Babylon, considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, weren't just about protection. They were also a symbol of the city's wealth, power, and commitment to security.
Exactly.
Those walls provided a sense of stability and allowed the Babylonians to focus on their endeavors without constant fear of invasion.
That's right.
And beyond their engineering achievements.
Yes.
The Babylonians were also pioneers in finance and trade.
They were.
They developed early systems of money, promissory notes, and written titles to property.
That's right.
It's amazing to think they were establishing these systems thousands of years ago.
I know, it's incredible.
These are foundational elements of modern commerce.
They are.
Right.
They understood that a stable and efficient financial system was crucial for economic growth and prosperity.
So their financial savvy, combined with their engineering ingenuity, a culture that valued hard work, created a recipe for success.
It did.
That made Babylon one of the most influential and prosperous cities of its time.
Precisely. The story of Babylon reminds us that lasting prosperity is built on a combination of sound financial principles, innovation, strong work ethic, commitment to creating a secure and flourishing society.
It's a legacy that extends far beyond the ancient ruins of the city.
It does.
Offering timeless lessons for anyone seeking to build a more prosperous future.
Absolutely. The Richest Man in Babylon is a journey through time, revealing the enduring principles that have driven human prosperity for millennia.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
I think the most important message is that financial success is within reach for anyone willing to learn.
Okay.
Apply these principles and cultivate a mindset of discipline, prudence, and long-term thinking.
It's about taking ownership of our financial lives, making informed decisions, building a solid foundation for ourselves and future generations.
Exactly. The journey to financial freedom, as Klassen reminds us, begins with a simple but profound step. Paying ourselves first.
Right. Okay.
By consistently saving a portion of our earnings. We lay the groundwork for a secure future.
And then it's about putting that money to work through wise investments.
That's right.
Seeking expert advice. Protecting our assets from unnecessary risks.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He also emphasizes the importance of controlling our expenditures, distinguishing between needs and wants, ensuring that our spending aligns with our values and financial goals.
And let's not forget the power of continuous self-improvement.
Of course not.
Investing in our skills and knowledge is key to increasing our earning potential, opening doors to new opportunities.
Absolutely.
It's about recognizing that our ability to earn is our most valuable asset.
I like that.
Right.
And it ties back to that 7th cure. Increase thy ability to earn.
Exactly.
And beyond just increasing our income. Personal growth helps us become more confident, resourceful, and resilient, which are all qualities that contribute to financial success.
I love how The Richest Man in Babylon connects personal development with financial well-being.
It's a holistic approach.
It is.
That recognizes that true wealth encompasses more than just money.
So, to our listeners, as we conclude this deep dive into the richest man in Babylon, we leave you with this question. What small step can you take today?
That's a great question.
To start applying one of these principles in your own life?
Yeah, pick up a copy of The Richest Man in Babylon, immerse yourself in its wisdom, and embark on your own journey to financial abundance.
That's right.
Until next time, may your purses be full.
Yeah.
And your financial journeys prosperous.
All right, we'll see you next time. So we've talked about the Babylonians' incredible irrigation system and those impressive walls.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what about their everyday financial lives?
Right.
Did they have banks and investment accounts like we do today?
Well, not exactly in the way that we think of them today.
Okay.
But they had systems that served similar purposes.
Okay.
For instance, they developed a system of money lending and interest.
Oh, okay.
Which allowed people to borrow money.
Yeah.
For business ventures or personal needs.
So even back then, they understood the concept of leveraging money to create more wealth?
Exactly.
Right.
And they had a form of promissory notes, which were written agreements to repay loans.
Okay.
Kind of like ancient IOUs.
I see.
These notes could even be traded.
Wow.
Acting almost like early forms of currency.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It sounds like they had a fairly sophisticated system for managing finances.
Yeah.
And what about property ownership? Did they have deeds and titles?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They developed written titles to property.
Okay.
Which helped establish clear ownership and facilitated the buying and selling of land and buildings.
So many of the financial concepts we take for granted today have their roots in ancient Babylon.
It's true.
It's incredible how these principles have endured for thousands of years.
I know. It speaks to the fundamental nature of these principles. They're not tied to any specific time period or technology. They're based on human behavior and the universal desire for financial security and prosperity.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into the richest man in Babylon, what are some key takeaways that you think would be most helpful for our listeners?
Well, I think the most important takeaway is that financial success is a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
It's about consistently applying these principles, making informed decisions, adapting to changing circumstances.
So it's not about finding some magic formula, get-rich-quick scheme.
No, absolutely not.
It's about building a solid foundation.
It is.
Based on saving, investing wisely, managing our money responsibly.
Exactly.
And it's also about recognizing that we all make mistakes along the way.
Of course.
Right?
The key is to learn from them and keep moving forward.
Right. Remember Arcad's early blunders?
Oh, absolutely.
Those were valuable lessons that ultimately led him to greater success.
That's a good point.
I think one of the most inspiring aspects of The Richest Man in Babylon is its emphasis on personal development.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, the book reminds us that investing in ourselves, whether it's through education, acquiring new skills, expanding our knowledge, is essential for increasing our earning potential and creating more opportunities.
It's about recognizing that our ability to earn is our most valuable asset.
It is.
And it ties back to that seventh cure.
Yeah.
Increase the ability to earn.
Exactly.
And beyond just increasing our income, personal growth helps us to become more confident.
More resourceful.
More resilient.
Right.
Which are all qualities
that contribute to financial success.
It all ties together. I love how The Richest Man in Babylon connects personal development with financial well-being.
Yes, it's a holistic approach.
It is.
That recognizes that true wealth encompasses more than just money.
So as we say goodbye to ancient Babylon and the timeless wisdom of The Richest Man in Babylon, what's one final piece of advice you'd give to our listeners?
I would encourage everyone to view these principles not as rigid rules, but as guiding lights on their financial journey.
Okay.
You know, start with one small step. Whether it's setting up an automatic savings plan, creating a budget, seeking advice from a financial mentor. And build from there.
It's about taking action. Making those principles a part of our daily lives.
Exactly. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Well said.
Yeah.
And on that note, we wrap up this deep dive into the richest man in Babylon.
Oh, yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed.
I hope so.
This journey through time.
Yeah.
And that you feel inspired.
Absolutely.
To unlock your own financial potential. Until next time.
Yeah.
May your purses be full and your financial journeys prosperous.
That's a good one.
See you next time.
See you next time.